I'm Larry Fedoruk, and this is I Was 8. I'm happy to say that this episode marks the beginning of Season 3 of the podcast. It feels good to be here. In the coming weeks, you'll meet more interesting characters from my small town. There will be hypnotism, fistfights, and I even get hit by lightning. That's all coming up. Let's begin Season 3 of I Was 8.
Chapter 1. Faking Sick.
Faking sick is like anything else you undertake. Once you set out to do it, you've got to commit to it. And you've got to do it right. Faking sick is a skill I developed when I was 8. Self-taught, and a skill that has served me well over the years. I should probably write a handbook or at least do one of those how-to YouTube videos. Instead, I'll just tell this story, and hopefully you can pick up some tips along the way. It was a wintry Saturday morning in our little prairie town. Needless to say, but I'm going to say it anyway, it was cold. For several weeks throughout the year, Saturday mornings meant catechism class. Catechism is basically Catholic lessons. Sunday school on a Saturday, taught by our priest, and you did a deep dive into God and Jesus and the Holy Ghost and the apostles, Abraham, Moses, John T. Baptist, plus, as a Ukrainian Catholic, a host of Ukrainian saints. I hate to say this, makes me a bad Ukrainian, but back then, I thought our saints were like a B team. Roman Catholics seemed to have all the good saints. It's like they were the Leafs, and we were the Marlies. They were the Yankees, and we were the Charleston River Dogs. Well, you get what I mean. Catechism was held in the kitchen of our church basement, which was always freezing cold and always smelled like cabbage rolls. Hey, I love cabbage rolls, but it was first thing Saturday morning. I haven't even had my Pepsi yet. This particular Saturday, as my parents roused me to get to catechism, the bed felt particularly cozy, and I realized I was in no mood to go to school. We only lived a few houses down from the church, but catechism would involve washing, brushing, combing, then bundling up to trudge through the snow to the cabbagey church basement with about 10 other losers. Most of us left our parkas on as Father Harvenko lectured and then gave us these little tests about God, church, and the Bible. After about an hour of class, we could hear Protestants and atheists out playing in the snow. Not us. We were in holy school. I always wondered why we couldn't just watch the Ten Commandments movie or something like that. You know, earlier that year, our local cinema, the Gem Theater, had brought in King of Kings, a movie about Jesus. All the Catholic parents took their kids. We got to sit with each other in the front row. During the movie, I remember leaning over to my idiot friend Philip and saying, "Hey, watch this. I think this is where Jesus turns water into wine." Philip said, "Hey, you already seen this?" No, Philip. I read the book. I guess I did retain some of the catechism stories, but again, that Saturday was not in the mood. "Hurry up, you'll be late for catechism," I could hear from downstairs, and suddenly I just heard myself shouting back, "I can't go. I don't feel well. I'm sick." Mom came upstairs, seemed a little suspicious, but asked me what was wrong. And here's tip number 1. Always pick something that can't be easily detected by a non-medical person. I have a fever. No good unless you do. I think I have measles. No spots, no good. My arm fell off. No, it didn't. You're just hiding it inside your pajamas. My stomach hurts. My chest hurts. I have a headache. I know, too much, but I went for all 3. I was new to this game. Oh, sure, I had lied before, but this was like a full-body lie. Not just me telling a fib, my whole body had to pretend it was something it wasn't. Mom felt my forehead. Well, you don't have a fever. Didn't say fever. Said headache. You see how that works? Believe me, your dad's not going to go, well, hey, we just bought that EKG machine / brain scanner at the hardware store. I'm going to go over to the garage and get it, and we'll hook little Larry up to it, see what's happening. Yeah, it's just your word against theirs. After a few more minutes of debate, some moaning, Mom finally said, okay, you're sick. You stay home today. But you stay in bed all day and all evening. No playing, no TV, no suddenly getting better by lunch. Just bed till tomorrow morning so that we are sure you can get better. Ooh, good poker playing, Mom. Good bet to see if I'm bluffing. Again, tip 2. Commit. Okay, Mom, I'm going to try and get some sleep. This leads me to tip 3. When I was born, doctors told my parents that I had a tiny, tiny ulcer and that it would probably heal itself within months. It did, but I did have that ulcer. Probably from worrying in the womb about my future. Where will I live? What will I do? Will I ever meet someone and fall in love? What's the candy situation? Probably all of that worrying gave me an ulcer when I was born. And yeah, it healed, but it gave the stomachache story credibility. See what I'm saying? So not everyone is going to have the gift of an ulcer. So as a kid, just complain about something once in a while, once, twice a week, my head, my stomach, my foot, so that when you need to fake sick, you've already planted the seeds of doubt about your well-being. As an adult, don't ever leave work without setting up the possibility of a sick day tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Yeah, I hope so. My throat's a little scratchy right now. So you show up the next day, you're a hero. But if you call in sick and people go, what? Larry's not in today? Oh, well, he was complaining of a scratchy throat yesterday, yeah. Before Mom left my room, and let's face it, she was on to me, she unwittingly said something that changed the entire day's possibilities. She said, remember, stay in bed. If I even hear your feet touch the floor, you'll be in trouble. Promising to check in on me often, she left the room. Aha! Stay in bed was the rule. But the bigger rule seemed to be feet can't touch the floor. Your Honor, I think my case is clear. Listen, I had watched enough Perry Mason on TV to feel confident that I could practice law at age 8. As long as my feet did not touch the floor, I felt I was not in violation of any of the faking sick rules. The really sick rules. By my estimation, I had about 12 hours to kill. I did get back to sleep, but that was only for about an hour. Now what? Everything fun that I could do to kill time was across the room. Well, hold on. As long as my feet don't touch the floor. I quietly moved the chair beside my bed to about 2 feet away, stood up on the bed, took a big giant step onto the chair. From there, another big giant step onto the top of my sturdy wooden toy box. From there, a step down to the front of my closet where a lot of good stuff was. In front of my closet was a small area rug. It was a mat, really. But if I'm standing on a mat, my feet are not on the floor. They're on the mat. Right, Your Honor? In my closet, I grabbed this cool stick that I had, a tent pole for my covers, my flashlight, a new riddle book I had just gotten recently. Shushing the mat over to the toy box, I reached in, began tossing some toys onto the bed, some toy cars, a few bags of marbles, some other junk. Back up on the toy box, step over to the chair, step back onto the bed, move the chair back, hide everything under the covers, and then lie quietly for a few minutes to listen for any footsteps coming up the stairs. None. Mission accomplished. I set up the stick tent pole, turned on my flashlight. Okay, what to do first? Well, there's marbles. How many marbles do I have? Well, let's count my marbles. 118. Well, that seems low. 1, 2, 3, 4, 121. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 137. Well, that's way off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 129. Oh, to hell with it. I have lots of marbles. Okay, let's play cars. Let's make a parking lot and a racetrack. No good. Everything keeps sagging into the middle of the bed where I'm sitting. I peek out at my alarm clock. 20 minutes had passed. Boy, this is going to be tougher than I thought. Oh yeah, the new riddle book. Funny Riddles and Rhymes, compiled by Rosemarie Stromberg, illustrated by Roberta Berenzi. Some later illustrations in crayon by Larry Fedoruk. Hart Publishing Company, Inc. in New York City. Wherever that was. If you're wondering how I remember all this, I don't. I still have that book. Oh, yeah. All right, let's get into this riddle book. What's the difference between a jeweler and a jailer? One sells watches, the other watches sells. What? Oh, right. Haha. Yeah, okay. What is the center of gravity? The letter V. Oh, that's good. I'm going to remember that one for school. Who was the fastest runner in the world? Adam. He was first in the human race. Well, that's almost catechism. If I ever go to the church school again, I'm busting that one out for Father Harvenko. I read for a while longer, but then the flashlight started to go. Later, I heard Mom coming up, so I took the stick down and just hid all the toys under the covers. She'd never notice, right? She brought up some soup and crackers. After that, I had a nap. I was awakened by kids playing outside. They didn't sound like Protestants or atheists. As a matter of fact, it was the kids from my catechism class set free for the day. They got to play all day. I had to stay in bed. I stared out the window, read some more, counted my marbles again. 97. Well, that can't be right. It must have been around 4 when Dad yelled up the stairs, "Mom says if you're feeling better, you can get dressed and come with us to shop for groceries." "Okay, I'll be right down." Yes, I feel a little better. Quickly, I grabbed the cars, marbles, stick, everything, and put them all away, hiding all the evidence. It was clear my feet were now allowed to touch the floor, so it didn't take that long. I came downstairs, making sure I didn't act too healthy and hale. Just, feeling better. It was winter, so it was already starting to get dark. Lights were on downtown. People were shopping. It all seemed so exciting. I was out. The grocery store smelled wonderful. Dad bought me a treat, handed it to me on the side and said, "Don't tell your mother," and he gave me a wink. I think that wink was congratulations on your scam. Dad wasn't big on church stuff, so this was like, that's my boy. We got home, we had dinner, I got to watch the hockey game. All in all, a pretty good Saturday. I went back to catechism classes in the following weeks, but if I ever had to fake sick for a regular school day, not too much argument. I had the cred. He stayed in bed all day. Feet didn't touch the floor. That's my final tip, by the way. Don't cry wolf too often, or your cred is gone. Faking sick served me well, not only for future fake sick mental health days throughout my life, but that day taught me how to pass the hours all alone in isolation. And that came in handy recently. And though I missed religion class that day, I did read from the good book. You know, the funny riddle and rhyme book. I'm not being blasphemous. Listen to this. This is from that book. What is the only thing you have to keep, even though you give it to someone else? Your word. Huh? Isn't that wonderful? That's from that book. Then again, the book also asks, how do you make a pair of pants last? You make the jacket first.
I Was 8 is a weekly series written, produced, and voiced by Larry Fedoruk. A new episode every Thursday. Share your stories with Larry, or if you like, share Larry's stories with a friend. This podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Larry Fedoruk, that's Fedoruk, can be reached at larryfedoruk37@gmail.com.